new stream. And in this stream, we are specifically talking about Skynet and how we are utilizing code on top of that, and what's the usability it creates for the end users. And today I have Joyce with me. I think you are the creator of Goat. And like, what was the reason Goat was created? Like, what was the primary reason you created Goat and like eventually tried to solve things with it?
Yeah, so I think, initially the team at Crossman was like, hey, we're seeing all these agents and they're on Twitter and they say they're on chain, but are they actually on chain? No one really knows. And so, when I joined, basically we kind of sat down, we were like, hey, like, what was your experience building an on-chain agent? And I was like, well, it's actually really hard to build an on-chain agent because you need to have all these connectors to on-chain apps and all these like considerations for like different chains, and then like a shit ton of chains, and like how, like, for a team of two, it was just really hard for me when I was running my company. And so we're like, what if we became kind of like the on-chain toolkit? So it became like the connector for all these agent builders, and that was how the idea for Goat was born. And when we launched Goat, I think it was just met with a lot of um, thankfully, a very good reception, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of like builders just found it very useful, and it's free, it's open source, so you can see exactly who wrote what, exactly what code was committed. And a lot of, in the initial days and even up to now, a lot of people, a lot of contributors like opening up issues, and then also just creating PRs, and that was very important to us.
And like, and what's the stage right now? Like I can tell you like from the Skynet's POV, but what's the stage with Code right now? And what do you think? What do you envision like happening via Goat as a like a best case scenario? Different chains using it. Like what's the most optimal trajectory
Yeah.
for Goat do you see?
Yeah, so right now Goat is in a stable state, meaning that we don't add. So we used to add like one new app every day. Obviously, right now it's like, we've really covered like the um uh I want to say like the major chains and also the major apps on these chains, and so like we don't update it as frequently anymore. I want to say the best use of it, well, we had Python, we had our Python SDK out, so that was pretty cool. That was something a lot of users have been asking for. What is the best use? I want to say just go ahead and like use it. Like the use hasn't really changed. It's just that we don't add as many features as quickly anymore because, again, it's like in stable state, right? So it used to be in like beta where there were a lot of bugs, but we're also kind of just building and adding a lot of stuff. So that was very interesting. Yeah.
Eventually, like for us, at like when we were discovering what we can do with Skynet and creating
Mhm,
like even speaking to team initially, there were
mhm,
things we were aware of that it can eventually do, but
mhm.
what it would provide as like on the outside, it looks like okay, it's fairly very simple, but on the complexities of it and understanding like how could you scale that, I think that's very important for end-to-end users to understand. And like even right now, like more than if I say like if I showcase it to you, and let me share my screen pretty quickly. And so I was
Mhm.
testing this out, so I'm praying gods of demo right now before I get started, because like anything you do on live can break. So I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like, yeah, I hopefully it doesn't. Yeah. So let me make my screen more visible. And yeah, so this is like when you log into Skynet, you'll be able to see this. Like, and I'll go ahead and create an agent.
Mm-hmm.
And what you could see is right now is this is the no code agent builder tool. And for anybody who's getting started into creating something, or for like, there are eventual tools which are very useful and which has simpler logic than it really looks like. So if you have been creating this, like, I would say, like over here, if I want to use goat, I can just call this, and it's supremely easy. Like, all I need to do is that I need to type in goat, and I get, like, I can just drag and drop this. And also, let's get Telegram. So what I'm trying to do over here is that, like, we are creating Rug Checker. We are utilizing that, and I would be utilizing my Telegram for that. I would not be showcasing my Telegram for obvious purposes, but I would show you how the flow would look like and how it would throw an output out of this. And we would be utilizing like Goat's SDK onto this. So once I do that, like, if I'll create the Telegram bot and I would turn off broadcast, and it creates the starting point for this. And I will connect this and get in the parser. And also, I'll get the Telegram node once again. So whatever node I'm trying to join over here is eventually, like, it would lead to creating the output pretty easily for. So let's say I have to turn off the polling. I have to connect this, and let it be the output. And I have to get the bot token. So you can just go in your bot father and you can get the API key pretty easily. And you have to input that, and you can input this as well. And over here, you need to go ahead and configure this plugin. So I think the best thing which I have seen right now is synth, like, which we have been using. So you need to get the synth API. Now, shout out to Mode Team. Like, this is, I think, their product, and like, I'm just gonna get the API key for that, and I'm just gonna paste it here, and I'm gonna save this plugin. Okay. So we are pretty much good to go at this stage. Like, I'm going to ask Synth to predict the Bitcoin. The market is pumping like really good. So it can go ahead and predict the cost of Bitcoin. And let's see. Now, I'm not going to show that I'm going to put a long or short on it, but let's find out like what's the pricing is going to be like first. So let's deploy this. Let's give this find BTC, like some random name, and
Excuse me.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I was really like, yeah. And we'll click on subscribe. Now, what I'm going to do is that I am going to go to my bot itself, and I'm going to start the bot. And I'm going to ask the prediction for PTC. And once I'll be back here, you'll be able to see that, like, you can see the history, and it's running on, it's utilizing synth. And over here, you would be able to see the output itself. The price range is going to be like 117,799 to 1. Oh, okay, that's that's a good range. And it has given a relatively fluctuation in the BTC price. And that's what this agent can do for you. Imagine if I have to create a trade which eventually, like, perpetuals, yes, like this is not a trading advice, honestly. Like, you can do anything you want to. It's an open market. But and this is should not be taken as a financial advice at all. But understand what is happening right now is that how easily it fetches, utilizes Synth's API via Go, and gives you the output on what's going to be the prediction of the BTC price yet. And believe me, like, this is kind of like very hard. Like, when we are saying just on the it's going to be like supremely hard if you want to just go ahead and do it by yourself. And
Mhm.
that's what the ethos of Skynet is, like, providing high quality information as easily as you can fetch it out pretty easily. And there is also like rug check, which is kind of my, like, I like how we can easily spin off a rug check as well. Like, I can go ahead and I can change this flow and utilize like goat on top of it and spin off a rug check itself, which eventually helps into understanding, okay, this is what you can do. But this is what let me zoom in a bit on. This is what Skynet's whole vision is, to provide something which is like way more simple for anybody to spin off and generate. Like, then that's what we have created it. Like, over here, you'll be able to see that in the marketplace itself, like, we have created multiple templates which are fairly very useful for most of the people which is out there. Like, we I think the one of the best things which is there is the uh BD Pokemon. Like, we get a lot of Telegram messages, and like it helps you summarizes all of these. But like, even as a financial instrument, it can be used pretty seamlessly. And I think I would give it to like Goat, like what you guys have created, honestly. Like, there is a major chunk which plays onto that. But do you guys really feel like what's the target audience? What do you think, Joyce? Like, eventually, like, what kind of people do you really see that who can use this on a day to day basis or utilize it?
Well, I think it's mostly, as you said, right? Like, there are like two buckets. So there are people who build their own agents and they build their entire company around agents, and then there are people like you guys who build kind of like agent deployers or like agent builders, to make it easy for people, and also just agent launch pads have built with goats. Yeah, just basically, I want to say like two separate buckets of people.
And like, what do you think holds the major chunk of crypto utility right now? Like, because so many people have been focusing on agents for quite some time, and uh their whole persona of their project has become around agents. But what do you feel brings the major chunk of it? Like, if we think of like two separate buckets right now, like, what do you feel is the major driver of liquidity, major driver of agents, major driver of uh like executions on chain? Like, who's doing that?
Um, so I mean, agents still don't really take up a big chunk of activity on chain. I mean, it's getting there, but then the agent meta kind of died down a little, and so it's like, okay, like what do we do? I think a lot of builders are trying to find out what people actually want from agents, which is not, um, I guess, just normal trading or like LPing. So I think builders are still like teams are still trying to find out like um what can you actually do with agents? What do people want to see from agents other than just pumping the tokens? So we're still trying to see that. I think the next wave of agents is going to be a lot more interesting than the last one, and I think it's coming back very, very soon.
And like, were they able to reach, like, we romanticize with the idea of autonomy, but we're eventually like it's something which is on the roadmap as well. But like, do you really feel that agents are going to be autonomous like pretty soon, or there is a timeline for it, or like it's going to happen like sooner or later, or do you think it's the right roadmap which is being followed for that? Because every year,
Mhm.
every month there is a new meta, right? Agents now, like autonomous agents. So do you think there is a roadmap for that?
I mean, agents are supposed to be autonomous. I think people
Yeah.
just call them crazy names to justify what they're building. But I think most importantly, just build agents that people want to use and people want to like, see and actually utilize. Because a lot of people are like, oh, we'll build a trading agent, but your agent doesn't even trade better than like a normal trading system. Or oh, I want to build an LP agent, but your agent doesn't actually find the best LP post, then like just a quick like 5 minute search through like Meteora, right? So it's not really about building autonomous agents versus non-autonomous agents versus whatever. It's more of like, okay, do you um like is your agents actually good enough to use it over something that's like more low friction? For example, just doing it by myself.
And you, and is there like, has somebody created more of benchmark into creating good agents, or we are still like, there is still a room to develop and evolve these agents right now?
Um,
Like,
I mean, I don't think, well, I think um I don't think the leader is defined yet, right? Like there's still so much space to like do what you want to do, and also be like the leader in the space. Like it's gonna be hard to be like, oh, this is just one thing, and like it's just one company that's gonna take it all. I think we're still so early that if you truly want to build something good, there's still a lot of space to do that and a lot of space to
and do you
grow
think
and
like LLM plays a heavy role onto that? Like, what kind of model you're using behind that, and like how fine tuned it is, and like eventually, like, because it's heavily dependent on the output it's generating. Like, do you really think like that's a POV people should focus on, or like what goes on into creating, like, if I would say, like, if I want to draw down like the agents which should be built today, what do you think should be like focus number one for anybody who's trying to spin this?
I mean, first of all, like don't be lazy, right? Because a lot of agent builders kind of just wrap around like ChatGPT, and like ChatGPT is not going to give you the results that you want. There's so many models out there that are fine-tuned just for like finance use cases, and you really just all you need to do is just do like a 10-minute search, go on Hugging Face, or like just use it from like Open Router. And a lot of people don't even do that. A lot of builders don't even know what Open Router is, which is actually not good. But I think what's most important is you have to actually know why your agent is important and why it's helpful. Because if it's not, it's like you can have the best model in the world and no one will care because no one actually wants to use you. Um, yeah, so I think that's the most important one. And then what else is important? I think yeah, just try to make things that people actually want to use. And I think you guys' platform is like good because it kind of takes away the complexity of like thinking about how to actually build it, so you can actually focus on um what use cases would actually be helpful and useful.
And what do you think, like, is do you think like this platform has comes with, where do you see the space room to grow? Like, what can Skynet be in time? Like, what do you see from your, like, because we have been uh creating it for some time now, and we want to see, like, I understand that like there is always room for improvement, but
Mhm.
from your POV, what do you feel like there should be at Skynet so that it becomes like way better, or like do you think we have reached a plateau of product itself, and it's for us to like, now it's all about distribution? Like, what's your uh POV on this?
Definitely distribution, but also you can have the best distribution in the world, and your users also churn because they just don't find it helpful and it's just not a good product. So, I want to say focus on both. You crack distribution, you'll be able to crack other things, but you make sure that your other things are ready first before you like go viral and then get users and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think let me show you the rug check as well, because I think that's something which really is, there are many things I can show right now, but like mostly what I can do with code specifically. And like I'll just spin off one of the flows pretty easily and showcase that. Just a second, like let me share my screen again. And
Yep.
again, if you are watching this and if you want to go ahead and create agents on your own, this is the high
Mhm.
time right now. Like the meta is somewhat, the meta is still there, and you can go ahead and do that pretty easily via Skynet. And over here, once you'll see, like I'll go with Telegram. I will turn off broadcast and it makes the initial node of it. And then I'll go to goat. I will get the parser and I will get the Telegram node once again. So, oh, wait, okay. I was scared, like I didn't share my screen. I'll connect. I love this part where I connect things. And yeah, it's open and anybody can do it right now. So it's not something which I'm showing you the beta part. It's, you can just go ahead and utilize it off the go. And I'll go to bot father, I'll get the API key. I just have to paste it over here. Good. On the parser, we just put output. And over here, I think let's search for, these are different interactions what you can do. Like I think this goes to the code team, like what they have added and what plugins we have. And I'll just go ahead and I'll get the rug check and I'll just add this and save that plugin. So this is going to be like mostly a read only plugin, so I think I don't need the key. And I hope I'm not missing anything. So I think the person who's behind this, I think he would be watching this and he'll be pretty happy to see. Let's do a check and let's deploy this. And on my Telegram, so what I'm trying to do is that once it gets deployed, I'm going to click on subscribe. And once I click on subscribe, like I would be able to access it via my Telegram. The output can be reflected over here as well, but it throws the output on my Telegram bot too. So it becomes like fairly very simple. Like I can just go ahead, I can ask my bot like what is happening with the market right now, or can you tell me like the top trending tokens? Okay, it's been deployed. I love the whole experience of it. Like it's, once you get a hang of it, it's fairly very simple. And you can just click on subscribe and I can go ahead and start. And I have, okay. I have a weird error which it's throwing.
Hmm.
No. Okay.
No worries.
I think that's something which we will figure out post this. But yeah, I think this is what we can do. Like this is the fairly what we were able to achieve via Skynet. Like simple and easy to use tools which are aggregated by Goat itself and really provides a no code tool to build it. But thank you so much, Joyce, for being here and showcasing what you have built. Like, we are potentially very, very excited to launch it. Like, we have already launched it, and we would be super happy. Like, if you would use and create more agents, and people who are watching this, you can go ahead and spin off agents on your own pretty easily. It was nice having you, Joyce. Yeah,
Yeah, no, thank you for building with Go. That'd be great.
yeah, for sure. And people who are watching this, please use Skynet. And it's live right now. And we'll drop the link on the stream's comment. So go ahead and create your own agents. Have a good one.